shun you, probably hang you, publicly execute you. It's $50. I thought I was gonna die. What's up, guys? My name is Natalie, and welcome to my Nook of Novels. In today's video, I am going to be going on a trip with my lovely boyfriend, Venus. We are going to 2 different haunted houses. So the way that this trip is gonna be laid out, like what we're doing, our itinerary, if you will. We are going to be driving 5 hours to basically a campground. We have a tent. We're gonna set up our little tent, our little tenty tent. We're gonna cozy up inside of it, and we're going to a haunted house tomorrow night. Today's Friday, tomorrow's Saturday. So tomorrow we are going to drive up there, arrive at the campground, and go to our first haunted house of this trip. The second day, on Sunday, we're going to drive from the campground to a new city where we have an Airbnb that we're getting. It's this cute, like, black themed Airbnb apartment thing. It looks really, really cute, and I'm excited for it. And our check-in isn't until later in the day, I don't think, and because we only have a 1-hour drive, we're gonna have a lot of downtime that day to kind of just like wander around and like explore the city and stuff. So I think that is kind of our plan for the bulk of the day on Sunday. And then we're going to a second haunted house and then staying at the Airbnb and then driving back 4 hours on Sunday. Now, this is not just going to be just to go look at haunted houses kind of vlog. I always read to Venus while he's driving. So I wanted to share that experience with you guys and kind of do a little reading vlog of our little trip. And obviously it'll be like stuff from the trip too. I wanted to make this very Halloween kind of vibes, if you will. Yeah, let's go over the books I'm going to be reading on this trip. So I'll kind of start with our main things that we have been reading as of late. The first one being Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinniman. We are 146 pages into this, so a little ways in, and we are loving this so far. Every single time we read, he's always like, can we read Dungeon Crawler Carl? And we've been trying to go back and forth between this and Unravel Me. So every single time when we're on Unravel Me, I'm like, sorry, we have to read that one. It's in the rules. I don't make the rules. It's just what we have to do. But we've been going back and forth and we've been really enjoying this. It's so fun. It's very sarcastic and snarky. It's kind of a video game setting, and there's so many parts where they'll get these new achievements and things, and it'll be something so like stupid and funny, and those are my favorite part of this book, is like the notification pop-ups. We're enjoying this a lot. So this is one of our current reads. Our next one is Unravel Me by Tahara Mafi, like I just mentioned. We are 247 pages into this, so we're about halfway now, and the plot is really picking up, and I'm starting to be really excited about the things that are happening within this book. The first part was very slow going for us, but I feel like we're at a point now where we've started to finally build our momentum back up. The graphic novel we're currently reading is Saga Volume 11 by Fiona Staples and Brian K. Vaughan. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think I've looked super recently, but the last time I checked, this is the most recent volume of Saga that is out. So once we finish with this, we're done with this series, and we can start a new graphic novel series, which I will now get to that. We're hoping to read a lot of graphic novels while we're on this trip. Every fall, we pretty much try to read as many things as we can within fall. I don't really know why. I mean, when I say that, this is only the second year that like we've been doing this, but last year we did a 12-hour spooky readathon during fall, and we read Nothing But Black and Teeth, Gio. We started reading The Fear by Natasha Preston, and we read some of Chainsaw Man as well during that. So that was like a little spree of kind of spooky books. And now we have more of that. So, like I mentioned, Chainsaw Man by Tatsuki Fujimoto. We read volumes 1 through 6 a while ago. It was a really long time ago, around last year, like I said, and we weren't able to continue because I no longer had access to those books. But now I own volume 1, so I have this in my hands, and then I have interlibrary loans of volumes 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm borrowing volumes 5 through 11 from a friend, and then after that I'm just going to get more interlibrary loans for the rest of them. So that means that we now have the opportunity to actually go back and reread the books that we read and continue with the entire Chainsaw Man series, which is so exciting because we both really, really enjoyed these, especially Venus. He has a lot of fun with these, and I'm really excited to kind of delve back into these manga books. So, like I said, I have the loans for these 3 books. The entire cover is basically covered with these things that I'm not allowed to take off because the library will, I guess, shun gun you, probably hang you, publicly execute you if you remove the little pieces of paper. So those have to stay on, which is going to make this very unaesthetically pleasing, but it's okay for now. These are due back on November 6th. Today is the 17th of October, which means we still have a while, but now is a really great opportunity to get through as much of these as we can while we are having our little trip, our little trippy trip. So I'm very excited for all of those. These are all of the things that we're reading during this vlog. Obviously, probably not the entirety of all of these things if I had to guess, but that is just the gist of what we're gonna be reading. So I think tomorrow how we're gonna start the day is I'm probably gonna try to like clean up and stuff before we leave, just get the house in a place where we're good to just kind of leave it for a couple days. We have a friend coming to check in on the cat while we're gone, just to make sure that she has enough food and everything and that she's doing good, but I'm not really sure what time we're gonna leave. Probably a little bit earlier in the day just to make sure we have time to get there and set up the tent and everything before it gets dark outside. But that's really all that I have for right now. We might also stop and grab some like snacks on the way. It really just depends on how we're feeling. So that being said, I'm so excited to go on this trip and I'm excited to bring you guys along as well. I'm planning to post this vlog on Halloween. I've been getting my vlogs up a day or two late recently because I have just been so insanely busy. So this will either be up on Halloween or a couple days after, but I wanted the fall kind of vibes for the Halloween video. Like I wanted it to be something that I felt was worthy of Halloween, and I feel like this most definitely will be. So I'm very excited to be bringing you guys with me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for my first update of getting started on this spooky, scary trip. Hey y'all, so we're about 2.5 hours into our 5-hour road trip, and I just wanted to kind of update you guys and tell you about the trip so far. So basically this morning, it took us a while before we actually left and got on the road. It's 5:51 right now, so it took us a while to get going, but by the time I woke up this morning, I still had to like finish up my video from this last week and get it posted, my 24 and 48 readathon, because it just has taken me so long. Like I was editing it on Wednesday and Thursday all day, but then I worked on Thursday and Friday, and I still had to like film the final part of it so that I could include like the intro and everything, and I was literally just editing as much as I possibly could and like doing everything else, and I just didn't have enough time. So I finally got that up today, like right before we left, and then as we were on the road, I went ahead and did all my like social media stuff for that and everything, like posting on my stories and all that, and I cleaned the house up this morning and everything too before we left. So, and then like packing all our stuff and getting everything in the car took a while. So I want to say we actually left around like 2 o'clock, I want to say, and then we went to the store first so that we could get some snacks and things for the road. I'll do a little like snack haul I think later once we're at where we're going to, probably like later tonight, because it might be a little bit of a time crunch getting to where we're camping and then to the haunted house by the time we actually get into town. So I don't know, but at some point I'll show you guys all the snacks we got. And then we also stopped to eat on the way. We just got fast food. He got Chipotle and I got Culver's. Then we went to the store and then we actually started driving on our way. So yeah, we're at Buc-ee's now though, which is exciting. I like Buc-ee's, that's pretty cool. I don't really get a ton of stuff from here. I know a lot of people like a lot of their food, but some of it really grosses me out and some of it I think is good. So it really depends, but I'm probably gonna go in and just look. I don't think I'll get anything though, but we'll see. And yeah, I've been reading to him on the way, so I've been going back and forth between Dungeon Crawler Carl and Unravel Me, and we've gotten a good few chapters in now. I want to say we've read at least 10 chapters or so while we've been sitting here, and things are going well. We're really enjoying the books and we're making some good progress. And yeah, so that's really all I have to say though for right now so far. So I'm gonna climb out of the car. I'm like wedged in here, and I'm gonna go inside, and then we're gonna get back on the road and hopefully make it where we're going in a good amount of time. So yeah. So the Buc-ee's trip was too successful, because I accidentally bought a wine glass. I have this thing where I collect Buc-ee's wine glasses because they're really cute. I have the bee, the crown, and the magnolia so far. I know I have the cactus as well. I was so torn between the cactus, the sunflower, and the little pink bow. And the thing is, we have to put these in. We have the shelf in our kitchen that is like a separate furniture piece that we bought to go in there, and we have to put the wine glasses in there, like with the pots and pans and stuff, because they're too tall for the actual cabinet. cabinet. And so I thought maybe I'll just get one without the stem on it so it'll actually fit in the cabinet, but I just had to get the one with the stem because it's just something I have to do. It's just important. So I got this. Anyway, okay, I'll update you guys later. Bye. Hey y'all, so I just wanted to give you guys another vlog update. So as you can see, we are at our Airbnb right now. This is stop number 2. So this place is in Ohio. The first place we went to was Indianapolis. And I'm kind of just going to go over everything since the last time that we spoke because I have so many things to tell you guys. So first and foremost, I never showed you guys our like trip snacks that we got from the store before we left. So I just wanted to show you guys those real quick because I feel like it's fun. I feel like I have to show you guys the snacks I'm snacking on while I am doing something fun. So I'll go ahead and show those. My boyfriend picked these out. They're literally just chewy chocolate chip granola bars. They're called JoJo's. They're pumpkin flavored. They're basically Oreos. We really like these, but the cream in them is so sweet. So it's like hard to eat a lot of them, but like the cookie part of those is really good. I got these brioche toasts. Garlic naan crackers. We haven't opened these yet, but I am very excited to eat these. I'll probably munch on those a lot like once we get back home as well. I have apple cinnamon fruit sauce crushers. Basically just applesauce with cinnamon. Pretzel sticks with baked honey. Chocolate dough protein bar. And then Venus also got a bunch of Cliff bars. We got a thing of sweet tea as well and apple cider. And then some waters too. So those are all of our snacks. Those are all of the foods that we brought with us. Yesterday, so we finally made it to our campsite that we're going to in Indianapolis. So as soon as we got there, we went to go check in so that then we could leave immediately to go to the haunted house. And so I guess that you were supposed to have like a map in the check-in area with your name on it that told you like what campsite you were going to, but there wasn't one with my name on it. So we had to basically just like pick a campsite, and it was really confusing because the office was closed and there was nobody there to ask. So we kind of just had to like figure it out for ourselves, but it was fine. It worked out. So then we just went to the haunted house and it was really fun. So me and Venus both rated it a 7 out of 10. I believe we've only gone to 2 others together. The first one is like a 6.5 out of 10. The second one is a 9 out of 10. This place was really fun. So like the walk there, I kind of got a clip of the path we walked through to get to the actual haunted house, like from the parking lot. That was very fun and atmospheric. We both felt that the outside of the haunted house was kind of lacking in terms of there weren't like actors like walking around or anything. It had some decorations outside, but it just didn't have like a very atmosphere of like you're about to go into a scary experience kind of thing. And then the people who were working like the lines there also were not great because they were so unenthusiastic. Like obviously the actors inside the house were great and everything, and the people inside the house who would like stop you before you went into the next part, they were wonderful and had all the enthusiasm and everything, but the people outside were just not there. That was one thing that we said. And then also there was a lot of strobe lights in this haunted house, and I'm a big fan of a strobe light with a purpose. So I was really enjoying, there was a part that was so cool. It had this like ticking, it was like a heartbeat kind of thing and like a ticking clock while the strobe light was going, and you couldn't see anything except the people in front of you every few seconds. So that was really cool. It was a very like tension filled kind of moment and experience, and I really loved that. But then there was other parts where it was just like a purposeless strobe light, and I was like, oh my god, this is hurting my eyes. Like I can't see. please make it stop. There was a really cool part of it where you kind of went like up a hill, and it was designed as if it was just a crooked room, and you kind of had to like climb up it to go through. That part was so cool. A lot of fun. I love when they do fun things with the floors. I feel like that makes it such a unique experience, and I really enjoy that. The one thing I will say is we had a fast pass, so we pretty much got in immediately, and then there was like a second part where you had to like wait in line to go through like the second set of the haunted house, which was fine. Like we had to wait in line for that, and it didn't take all that long, but it was just a little confusing, the fact that there was like a stop in the middle of it, but it was really fun. I feel like though, if you didn't want to go through the second part, there wasn't really a clear way to leave or to go out. You pretty much had to stand there and wait for the next part. So that is one thing that I would say. But other than that, like it was great. It was such a fun time, and there was a lot of creativity. They had this one kind of like movie theater room as well that I had a lot of fun with. One other thing actually that I would critique is they were like giving us these instructions in the beginning, but they had so many loud atmospheric sounds going on around while they were giving us instructions that we could not hear a word they were saying. There was this like buzzing sound or this other like, mysterious clock sound or whatever that was just completely overruling like whatever they were saying. So we didn't know like the rules or anything. I mean, obviously it's like pretty self-explanatory for the most part, so it wasn't like an issue by any means, but that was just one thing that was like, okay, this is inconvenient. But yeah, it was so much fun though. It was great. We had a lot of fun going to that. So we went to eat after that, and we just went to this little cute like bar place that was adorable and had great food, and then we went back to the campsite then, and it was pouring rain. So we were literally, I got a time lapse of it, and I don't know if you can really tell, it was like the phone was literally sitting in the Jeep with the rain like washing over it, and we were building a tent in front of the Jeep, and it was soaking wet on the inside because it has one of those tops where it's like mesh on the top, and then you put like a cover over it to keep the rain out of the tent. But while you're setting it up, it was just getting soaking wet on the inside, literally puddles and puddles inside our tent. So Venus had to literally take a cup and like scoop all the water out of the tent, and it was a whole, like it was such a dramatic experience. And that's why my hair looks probably awful, is because I haven't got a chance to wash my hair since then, and it was insane. We had to go buy a bunch of new clothes today. Not a bunch, a couple things. Venus had to buy more shoes, and I had to buy a new sweater, which is in there. I'll show you guys in a minute. But it was just crazy because all of our stuff was like soaking wet. So then it's like we had nothing to wear after. When we were getting out of the tent, we had to put on a pair of sandals, and it's really cold because we're like further north than where we live, and it's really cold here. So we had to go buy warm things to wear. But all in all, it was really fun, and it was really cozy and warm once we got inside the tent and everything. So that was great. And then the drive over here to where we are in Ohio now was so cute. It was so cute. It was like all these open fields, and then there would be like a little town, and then you would drive through all these fields, and then there would be another little town, and it was just the cutest thing ever. It was such like a chill, low-key kind of place. And if I wanted to live somewhere that was very, I don't want to say off the grid, but you know, if I was gonna live just like a peaceful little quiet life, something like that is exactly the vibes that I would go for, because it was adorable. It looked like so much fun to just relax in. Like it was a very relaxing kind of vibe, and it was really cool. And then once we got to the city, like there's so much artwork in this city. It's so beautiful. There's all of these paintings like on the sides of buildings and everything, and it's so beautiful here. So, and we're in one of those downtown, like it's like a brick building with like a fire escape outside, and it is just so aesthetically pleasing. I've never been in a building like this before. It makes me feel like I'm in a movie. Like I'm just having so much fun at being here. So this is great. And then, so when we drove up to Indiana, Venus drove, and I was reading to him on the way. So we got through probably 20 chapters or so of our books. And then on the way from Indiana to Ohio, I drove, and Venus read a couple chapters of Dungeon Crawler Carl to me. So we made some progress there. We had such a fun little trip, and things are going well. So now we're about to head over to our next haunted house for tonight. This one is set in, not set, like the building itself is an old schoolhouse, and the vibes of that just sound like so much fun, and I'm so excited. So I've got my next like fall outfit on. I'm ready to go. We brought this pumpkin with us too for aesthetic fall reasons, and I'm so excited. I'll show you guys that sweater I was talking about real quick, and then we're gonna head out. Okay, here's the sweater. Venus actually bought this for me because he is so very sweet, but here it is. It's just this. It was $50, but it was from Kohl's and I didn't want to spend money on something that I was gonna wear once and then not wear ever again. So I figured I'd go for like a high quality, genuinely warm sweater to get me through the winter this year. So I have that. We also ate at this Mexican place where I ordered only a beef enchilada and it was only $3. I was so surprised. She brought the check and I was like, oh, which was amazing. It was great. And it was yummy as well. So we got food right before this as well. And just kind of like walked around the little downtown area. Venus does construction and we saw the scaffold and he was like telling me all about it and it was great. We had a lot of fun with said scaffold. So I'm gonna go now and we are gonna go to the next haunted house. So I will update you guys later. Hey y'all, so it's really been quite a long time since I did anything with this vlog. Technically this was supposed to go up a week ago-ish, but I've been about a week behind with my videos, so I'm trying to catch up, but I realized I never wrapped this vlog up, so I'm here to do that and to kind of give you guys a little bit of a summary of the rest of our reading trip. So I know that technically there will only be like 3 updates throughout this entire vlog, so it's going to be a lot of like B-roll, which I know for me is really fun to edit, and I hope that you guys have a good time watching this as well. I hope that you guys enjoy all of the little clips and snippets of the haunted houses and just the reading things that we did rather than more of like a sit down and talk to y'all kind of style. Do let me know like in the comments what you think of that. But yeah, so the last time we spoke, I was actually sitting in the Airbnb in Ohio. Right after that clip, we went to the second haunted house, and so some of my thoughts on that one. I really enjoyed that haunted house. I thought it was a 10 out of 10. It was so much fun. It's one of my favorite haunted houses I've been to. I love the idea of the fact that it's in an old schoolhouse, and I feel like that really added a lot to it. They had like a school bus sitting out front. Just the vibes of it were really nice. We didn't go into like the upstairs part. It was just the ground floor and the basement. And something I've been noticing like while I was on that trip, because we were in a lot of like older buildings being downtown and at this old schoolhouse, old stairs are so absurdly steep. And I know know like there was less laws back then about how you have to build the stairs, and so it like conserves space if they're super steep like that. But oh my god, I thought I was gonna die going up and down all of these insanely steep stairs. So there was that. But anyway, the building itself I thought was so cool. They had this library room, and the bookshelves moved back and forth like this, so you feel like the floor is like moving underneath you as you're walking down this aisle of bookshelves. And I really enjoyed that room. I thought it was nice. They had some posters up that I thought maybe were like real posters that were up when the school was open. I don't know if that's true or not, but I like that you're looking at some of this stuff that genuinely was like old stuff. Like they had all these trophies and things, like school photos from when the school was actually open, and I just think that is so cool. I was like literally wanting to take forever and just stand and like absorb every single room that we were in because of like the historical vibes of it. And I'm not like a history nerd or anything. Like I actually hate history. It's my least favorite school subject or whatever, but I like being somewhere where you can just admire the oldness of it, if that makes sense. I like going places and like, experiencing history versus learning about it or whatever. But anyway, I thought that was so cool. And they had like a church in the basement, which I feel like also shows kind of how old the building was, because doing church stuff in school is like wild to me. That was like a thing that actually happened. But it was literally like a whole church space. And as well as the fact that this was like a tiny class size, because the church was probably like the size of our bedroom. It was not a big room at all. But I don't know. I just think it's so cool. It fascinated me. And the church room was so gorgeous and so creepy as well. Like it was terrifying. I just loved it. I thought it was so amazing. I had a really good time there. So I'm editing this video and I'm now realizing that I completely forgot to talk about a very fun element of this haunted house, which was the fact that we went through some of like the back areas of the school, if that makes sense. So I talked about like the church room and all of that, and that was so cool. But we were literally going through like the pipes and stuff. Some of the areas where you would see in like a horror movie that's set in a school, if they're like running through like where all the pipes are and everything. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it was literally like the inner workings, like the organs of this building, if you will. And that was so cool, because you're going past like all this electrical whatever. I literally don't even know how to explain what I'm talking about, but I'm sure you guys understand. It's just like the tunnels where electricians would go, or like people who are gonna do like whatever with the boiler. I don't even know what a boiler is. I just know it's the thing that like explodes in buildings sometimes, but I might just think that because of horror movies. I don't really know. But anyway, and there's like that metal thing that like clinks when you walk on it, if that makes sense. But yeah, you're literally going through like the back parts of this building, and it was so fascinating. Like there are literally entire sections of this haunted house, and I loved that. Everything about this haunted house was so top tier amazing. But that's just one more detail that I wanted to like throw in there, because I don't know how I forgot about it when I was talking about everything else with this haunted house, but I just wanted to include that as well. And the last room was like a bubble room, and you had an option to go around, which I thought was really nice. It was like, warning, you will get wet if you go in this bubble room, so you can go around this way or you can go through. And we went through. I got my third pair of jeans soaking wet from the trip, or sorry, my third pair of pants, not jeans. The day before, when we were putting up the tent in the pouring rain, I was wearing leggings and then jeans on top of them, and those were soaking wet putting up the tent. And then the next jeans got wet in the bubble room, so I hung those up to dry that night, and they were dry, thankfully, for the drive back home the next morning. I don't know what I would have done, because that's all the pants I brought with me, so I literally would have had to like have no pants on the way home or something. So we got all bubbled up. It was really nice. The props too were amazing. Even before you go in the haunted house, like part of the line kind of just has you looking at some of these props. They were so good. Like all of the fake like masks, the fake faces and everything were so realistic looking, on point. Like all of the animatronics were so good. It was just everything about this place was chef's kiss amazing. It was so good. I would highly recommend. So after we went to that, there's like a thing right outside of it that has like mini escape rooms and everything, and me and Venus are a sucker for a mini escape room. Only $5, like you gotta do it. This one was really bad though. It was like a 4-person. Some drunk girl like came up to us and was like, oh, do you want to do this escape room with us? And we were like, sure. It was like locker themed, so they literally lock you each in like this tiny, it's not as small as a locker, but it's this tiny little space, and you have to like yell through the door at each other and figure out what your number is or whatever, and then you can escape. But I kind of think the girl was like too drunk to know what was going on, and I think we failed because of her, but it's okay. I forgive her. But anyway, it was kind of silly and not that fun. And there was just some cool looking stuff outside, like in the back part too. But yeah, so then after that, we drove back to the Airbnb. We we went to sleep, and then the next morning we didn't drive straight home. We went to this little park where there is a little bench that overlooks like most of the city, which I got a clip of that, and it was really, really cute. It was so pretty. We sat there for a minute, and then we went to this little like biscuit breakfast cafe place called Biscuit Love, and it was so cute there. I really love that place. I would love to go back if I'm ever in town again. It was very cute, and we had a very good time there, and the food was delicious. It was so good. I had a waffle, but it was amazing. And the coffee was good. Anyway, it was so cute. And we were looking at some of the artwork like across the street and everything that you could see from this little biscuit place, and it was just such a pretty little area to be in. So then we drove home. On the way, Venus drove the first like 3 hours or so, and then we stopped at this pretty like overlook where you could see like, a bunch of the mountains and a bunch of like buildings kind of in the distance. We sat there for a minute and hung out, and then we went down to this other spot that was like it was on the side of like this really steep mountain, and we sat there and we read more of Saga Volume 11. I think we finished it while we were sitting right there, and it was really pretty. It was really cute. And then we drove home. I drove the rest of the way because I avoid highways driving in his Jeep. It took us another like 2 hours to get home, but yeah, that was our whole trip. We really didn't read a ton while we were there, so we read the second half or so of Saga Volume 11, and then I'll get some page counts of what we read of the other two books. Pretty much all the reading we did of those was in the car, like driving there and back, or like across between the two places, but I'll get page counts of those. Okay, so according to my Goodreads, we started on page 146, I think, of Dungeon Crawler Carl before we went. So we were this far in, and we made it to, this is how far we are in now. We've read a little bit since then. So I think we've read about 2 chapters or so since. That's gonna be my guess. I'm assuming that this is what we read while we were gone, which means that we got to page 288, which means that we read 142 pages of this book on the trip. And then of Unravel Me, it looks like we started on page 247, and we got to page 285, which means that we read 38 pages of Unravel Me. So between those two, and if we assume we read about 100 pages of Saga Volume 11, that puts us at 280 pages that we read across this trip, which is really good considering all the reading that we did was in the car or stopping on the way home to read Saga. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this vlog. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed the more B-roll kind of aspects of it versus more of a sit-down kind of thing. But yeah, I hope you had fun with the spooky seasonness of it, the haunted houses, and the reading as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, then please hit the like button and subscribe if you would like to, and hit the notification bell to see the other videos that I post on Tuesdays with reading sprints, not bi-weekly anymore. The next ones that I'm going to be doing are going to be the first Monday of December, but I'm going to be shifting to a more seasonal thing of those in my next video. I talk a little bit more about that. So either next week or in a couple days, hopefully, you guys will see me explaining more about the whole reading sprints situation and why I'm going to be switching to a seasonal variety of those. But you will see those the first Monday of December. My Bookstagram, my Goodreads, and my book talk will all be linked in the description of this video if you guys would like to check out any of those, as well as a link to some of my most recent videos, such as my November We Live TBR, my 24 and 48 readathon, and my cleaning out my closet for every chapter I read. Thank you guys so much for being here and for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!